Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. And we are live. Today we have Chris Pomerleau with us, co-founder of Park Ave Capital, and multifamily real estate investment company based out of Omaha, Nebraska. Chris, thank you very much for joining us today. How you doing?
Yeah, great, Gabe. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Absolutely. To get started, why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and how you got started in real estate in the first place?
Right, great. So I was born in Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is just a suburb of Omaha, Nebraska. So I've actually born and raised in the Omaha area, grew up here. I only left for the military and for undergraduate, for college. Other than that, I've lived in the area for my entire life. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad in law school back in 2008 and like many people. And I knew that there was just something that had to be done. I actually didn't get a chance to jump into it until 5 years later. With the military and law school, I was also in grad school getting a master's in negotiation. So I was really busy. Looking back on it, I still could have figured out a way to get it done, but I pushed pause for about 5 years. And in 2013, after I got done with my military obligation, that's when my father and I jumped into real estate. And, we haven't looked back. We purchased our first single family home, and about 800 units later, we certainly know we made the right choice.
I love it. So yeah, it sounds like you have quite the background. You have a master's in negotiation. That is,
I do.
I've read a few books on it, but a master's, it's
I'm really happy I did that, just because it's good to get a perspective of the legal route. Because I'm an attorney by trade, and so it's to get a perspective on the legal route. But sometimes, and it's very apparent, very obvious, but sometimes they don't really discuss the negotiation as in depth as they could during law school. So yeah, I'm really glad that I did that, and it's helped me in financial situations, but it's helped me just on personal levels too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, negotiations, in my opinion, are much more psychological than they are legal. Right. And so that would definitely come in handy, especially when you're dealing with people who don't quite have an accurate understanding of the value of their property. And that's not to, denigrate anybody who thinks, they have a great valued property. Most likely you do, but some people have overinflated ideas of what their property is worth. And so if you have good negotiation tactics, I'm sure you could get that into reality.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do this all the time, and some people might not like it, but I send them my pro forma and I'll explain, look, here's what you're, I'm amazed when people will send us out their actual T12 or their pro forma with their NOI on there that justifies something $1 million less than what they're asking. and look, and swing for the fences all you want, but I mean, you provided these numbers. You are telling me your property is only worth this, so I can't move forward on it. But it's actually benefited us. If I show them my pro forma, it's actually benefited us.
Yeah, absolutely. I laugh because we just offered on a deal I think 2 weeks ago. It was an RV park out in Texas, and we asked for the T12. He sent it to us, and he had a net negative cash flow. The NOI was negative
Yeah.
over that 12-month period, and he was asking $800,000. And while there is obviously still value in the property, there's still value in what he has there. We can't reasonably expect. He was asking based on what you would expect his numbers to be. With a 40% expense ratio, he was asking I think it was an 8 cap. And generally RV parks trade for a little bit higher, 10, 12 cap. And so, in that situation, it's just what you're talking about. People are just, they're not really down to reality, what it
Right.
should be, they should be awarded. So, a little bit of a tangent. I'm going to jump back to your story here. Sorry about that. So you went to law school. You got a master's in negotiations. That's got to help you a lot. And then in 2013, you partnered up with your dad. I love hearing, family businesses, and you bought a single family. And
Right.
since then, you've moved on, and you're now doing multifamily. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But the single family stuff was great. I learned a lot. I wouldn't take it back. I was laying the flooring, the plumbing. I was doing everything myself. Spent a lot of quality time with my dad too. So I certainly wouldn't, go back and change anything, but it became very apparent 4 years in and only 4 single-family homes. Something had to change if we were going to scale this into a business. I personally don't enjoy spending 12 hours landscaping and laying flooring and painting the exterior of a home. And I was doing it for the passive income, and that was not
Yeah.
going to happen with the single families, at least on that level. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got started the same way as in single family, and I think most people do. And it's nothing to say. You can stick in single family for sure, but it's you can't scale at that point. And it is funny you said that you were doing the work yourself. That's kind of how I got started. And I remember I had tiled a floor in a bathroom, and I thought I did a good job. But I hired a GC after that to do. I think it was the electrical or something. And he came in and he looked at the floor and he's like, "Oh, who did you hire for the
What is
floor? This
this?
is horrible." And I was like, "Oh God." But yeah, doing single family, doing the work, I'm sure that taught you a lot. Just a lot of knowledge about how to go about flipping a property, adding value to a property. So how many single families did you guys do? You said 4?
Excuse me. Yeah, 4 in 4 years. So about one a year. So we'd work all week, and then on the weekends we'd work on those single family homes. And it was the same approach, the whole Burr method, if you will, where we'd buy it, we'd rehab it, refinance it, and repeat it. And it was working, but we already talked about it doesn't seem to be an easy scale here. So I thought in 2017, I said, look, we got to try some bigger and better things. Set that to a duplex. That worked. Then we just jumped into a 20 unit.
Oh,
And
nice.
that worked. Same method, same exact approach, but on the duplex and the 20 unit, we were completing those in a few months because we were actually hiring all of that out.
Yep.
So that's the biggest step, is the scalability, and that's what I learned really quickly. And look, more power to somebody who wants to spend every weekend doing that stuff. If it's their hobby or if it's their favorite pastime, good for them. But I was doing it because I wanted a business and I wanted that passive income.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's why most people get into this, is they are looking for, financial freedom, a little bit of financial stability in their life. And while you definitely can make lumps of cash in flipping houses, it's not a way to get consistent
No.
income over time. So kind of take us into your business model. So you mentioned that you're basically doing the Burr method. Are you refinancing afterward in order to purchase the next property, or just kind of take us through the process of what it's like in your business to find, buy, fix, and either sell or exit the property?
Yeah. So, when we start, we always have in mind, or in our business plan, is to force appreciate the asset and then refinance, pull our cash back, and then roll it into the next property. I use the round numbers to explain to everybody. You buy it for 60,000, you put in 20,000, it's now worth 100. So they give you 80,000 back because that's 80% of the value. And, that's something we were able to do on single family homes. We're just doing it now with apartments. And that's always our goal. It just so happens to be, we're not planning on ever selling anything. We've sold a couple of smaller multifamilies, a couple 3 units, a couple duplexes. And it's mainly not so that we could pocket it and enjoy the fruits of our labor. We just want, the market was of a certain situation where we could make a lot of money and then use that on something much larger. So, just because we've sold a couple of things, that was never part of the plan. You never say never, right? I mean, I always say I don't want to sell. I'm not here to flip anything, but sometimes it's not smart to pass up on that large of a profit. So, that's what we do. We come in, we make sure we vet the property right away. We look for things like the income. Obviously, is it renting like it should be? Do they have laundry on site? And we start looking at the expenses. Are they billing back for any of these expenses? And I'm sure you've covered this so many times with different guests, but those are things to look at. And one of the things we're catching a lot of traction right now is actually trimming the fat on the expenses. Sometimes the raising of the rent just to market is only $25, $50, $75, which ends up being 6 to 10% of a raise, which is decent, but you can drop a lot of expenses. And people are paying too much for management. People are paying too much for maintenance because it's not being done correctly the first time. People are paying their own utilities, which blows my mind. The owners are paying their own utilities. And so we're finding a great way to value add through that as well. And so I guess that's a shotgun spray answer to your question, but I like to dummy it down, and not that anybody's a dummy, but it really is. You're just buying something, you're making it more valuable, pulling the cash back out, and moving on to the next thing. And as long as you cash flow, it's really fun to see this play out, because I'll get off my hours here, but it's a sad situation what's going on with COVID. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen with people's jobs? Who knows what's going to happen with people's living arrangements? And I get that. I really do. And we've taken certain measures to help people in those situations. But the people that were less affected than others were those who had a guaranteed source of income. And I use the word guaranteed lightly, but people need a place to live.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. And when that rent's coming in, as an attorney, our practice slowed down a little bit. Now, I'm a divorce attorney. So guess what's happening?
I would actually expect that to go up.
Yeah. Well, now it is. So, in June, states started, in the area here, they started opening restaurants and stuff back up. And a lot of couples said, wait a second, I did not sign up to spend this much time with my spouse. And our practice has picked up a lot. But during those 3 months or so that it was down, there are many attorneys that weren't making the money that they used to be. And the people, we did not feel that pain at all, because we have a passive income. And I think the fact that I can choose to work as opposed to need to work is something that I wish everyone could have the opportunity to do. And it's taken a lot of learning, a lot of ups and downs, don't get me wrong, but it's why I keep pushing to anybody who will listen. I know I'm pretty annoying because of family and friends, and I just want to talk about real estate all day, but once they get that passive income, mailbox money, it's hard to stop talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing what, when you don't have to work, it's amazing how pleasurable work becomes.
Right.
I remember when I was working in corporate, I dreaded every day. But if I didn't have to actually do that, if that wasn't a thing that I needed to do, I'm sure I would have enjoyed it a lot more. So,
sure.
You're right on the money there. I do want to take it just a little bit back. You mentioned a few things that I wanted to comment on. So you're talking about buying and fixing up the properties, your multifamily properties. And you mentioned that, sometimes you can't really increase the rents that much, even when you do, significant, well, maybe not significant, but decent amount of repairs to your properties. And so you're finding that the biggest way to increase your NOI is by trimming the fat on the expenses. And I've seen this as well in a property that we're buying right now. Their water bill was off the roof because they were watering all day long instead of during the morning and the evening. So kind of take us, what are some good expenses that you like to look at, or that kind of jump out to you when you're first looking at a property that are red flags to obviously this is a good thing to cut?
I wouldn't say that cutting the expenses is the number one way from a financial position. Look, if you can raise the rents very high or a decent percentage, that is the best way to get to force appreciate that asset. It just seems as though the most overlooked is the ability to mitigate the losses, to trim that fat, especially now that just in the last few years when real estate has become more and more popular or more and more popular to investors, it's becoming more and more difficult to find that diamond in the rough, if you will. And I think that what people could learn from, and what we're learning, is that the ability to trim some of that fat is actually something people overlook. So some of those things obviously are the utilities, right? I mean, if you own an apartment, but you're paying for everybody's water and electricity, that's a little less common, but water, gas, you're not, in my opinion, you're not doing the tenant any benefits, because there's no real ownership in what they're doing. They can leave the sink running all day if they want. But you're also leaving a lot of money on the table. I mean, when you can bill back these tenants for the utilities they're using, it's fair, and it's a way to raise the value of the property. Some of the things people may overlook are the trash. That's looped into our RUBS, if you will. We actually charge a common area maintenance fee at a lot of our properties, which is $10 or $15. And that does go towards the snow removal and the common area maintenance, of course, being the hallways, the lawn care. And it's a small figure, but people honestly don't scoff at it that much. And if it's important that you actually then make sure that they have the best common areas possible. And if they do, it help buys them into the ownership of the property, and it helps our income, but it helps the whole property as well. So that's something that people don't really think about. It's a common area maintenance fee.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So sorry about that. You went from single family to multifamily properties. And so, I mean, at the beginning, I'm sure when you guys are renting this out, you didn't have you may have had a property manager, but you didn't have like an on-site maintenance person or anything like that. At what point were you able to hire, I'm assuming you guys have a maintenance person now. At what point were you guys able to hire on, somebody to do the maintenance that was on, payroll?
Yeah, I mean, we manage our own properties for the first 4 years, and my father and I are still managing those 4 single-family units that we have. They're all close to where my father lives, and it's kind of this nostalgic, it's this feeling that it's the first few deals we had, and we're kind of keeping them, and they're fine. But when we jumped into multifamily, it was straight to property management, and so we would utilize either the maintenance team that property management had, or my business partner, Colin Schwartz. Him and I are the ones who are combined. We're about 800 units now. He started his own property management company 3 years ago. And so he's hired on, he has a staff of about 7 to 8 people. That's from leasing individuals to in office to maintenance, and now some HVAC people. And so that's really helped as well. So, I mean, trusting these people who, that's all they do, right? I mean, if you're an HVAC person who specializes in that area, you're really good at what you do. You get out there, you get it fixed for less expensive than I could do, mainly because I'd probably break it, I'd probably make the problem worse, or I'd miss out on my time working as an attorney or finding other deals. And you can make a lot more money doing those things, finding other deals, making sure that you're polishing up each asset that you already have, as opposed to me going out and learning how to fix an AC. It doesn't make any sense. So, how do you remember the question you asked? You just got me on my.
No worries. I asked at what point did you guys? I mean, it sounded like you kind of were wed into in the sense that you got a partner into your maintenance team. So you didn't really have to make that decision at a specific point. But a lot of people are curious when they're going from single family to multifamily, or just a large single family portfolio. What point did it make sense for you to bring on a full-time maintenance person?
Right. If I had to jump into this, and if I was trying to do everything myself, or build out if I was, let's say I only had a 20 unit and I didn't want to hire a property management company, I would try to just vet certain go-to subcontractors, if you will, that I would utilize them and them only. But I mean, most property management companies have all that stuff taken care of.
Yep.
And to me, I push this on anybody. If you're trying to grow this business, you can't spend hours upon hours trying to figure out who the best HVAC person is. You need to trust people to make those decisions. I need to trust my property manager to make that decision. I need to stay on top of that by reviewing the monthly financials and making sure that the same dang AC wasn't broken yet the next month. But I mean, will I lose a little bit of money? I lose in quotations. We'll have to spend more paying a professional to do it, sure. But as you continue to scale, it only makes sense to start trusting people to do the things they're good at. And if it's property management, if it's leasing, if it's fixing HVAC or plumbing, I got to trust those people if I'm going to scale the business.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, I would echo that sentiment, that you just trust people to kind of, do what they're really good at. And that also involves partnerships. Different partners are going to be good at different things. And you just have to trust that they have it under control. They have that area that they're, looking out for under control, whether it be, the sales, marketing, acquisitions, anything like that. So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit here. We try to keep these around 20 to 30 minutes. And so we are nearing in on the end here. But before we go, I do want
You're trying to say I talk too much? Is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely not. I would never say that. I do want to ask a few questions that I ask all guests. And that is the first one, you've been in real estate for 2013. That's 7 years now. So you have good experience. But you weren't always this way. There was a time when you just picked up Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the Bible for real estate investors. Yeah. And it just kind of opened your eyes. And at that point you were like, yes, this is what I need to do. But you didn't have an experience. So if you could go back to that Chris who had just popped open that book and give him one piece of advice going forward in real estate, what would that piece of advice be?
Find a good partner. And that can take the form of somebody who already owns a property management company, someone who's really handy if you're not, somebody who has all the money but you're willing to volunteer your time, even a coach I view as a partner. Don't do it all yourself. I think that it took me 4 years to figure that out. And there are many positive things that came from spending time with my father for 4 years and doing all of these things. And by the way, I learned a lot. So now I know what to expect from the people that I hire. So there is that benefit. But if you try to learn all yourself and do it all yourself, it takes much longer than if you simply go to the people who have done things before you and learn from the success that they've had. And I think that if I would have done that in 2008, when I first read the Purple Bible, I think that I'd be in a much different position. I think that if I would have done that in 2009, in 2010, 2011, anytime you have a chance to do that is a great time. So, just don't wait around until you know absolutely everything and then jump into it. Try to find someone you can learn from. Be a part of these private Facebook groups. Be a part of your local RIA. Do whatever you can and grab a good partner or try to team up with someone with that knowledge base. Just jump into it and stay afloat.
Absolutely. I love it. And I love the advice of just jumping into it because I know I've spoken with plenty of investors who, at RIAs who are just, they want to invest, but they're reading all the books, doing all the things, but they haven't done anything. I'm like, just go buy a property, just do a flip, just, find somebody to team up with. It's just, you can't just read everything. You have to be in the field. Right. So I love that piece of advice. Next question. We get our knowledge from many different areas, from partners, from your parents, also from books. Sounds like you got it from Robert. So if you could give two recommendations here, one for a real estate or business book, and then one for just any other type of book, what would those recommendations be?
Okay, so I would say real estate / business would be Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I think that's a great way to kind of frame your mindset. If Rich Dad, Poor Dad didn't do that, I think that Think and Grow Rich is another great book, and it's obviously much older too, but it's tried and true. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. On a personal level, I would say the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's, in my opinion, it's no secret anymore that waking up early and starting your day off right is the way to go if you can manage it. And I think that's something that really helped change my approach to not just business, but life in general. So taking a little me time and writing down goals and writing down things I learned from the day before. So Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. Final answer.
Awesome. I will. I have not read that one. I'm gonna have to pick that up. Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
It's great. It's great. And that's one, I don't know if you're into Audible or not, but that's actually one that is not bad to listen to on Audible either. Some books are hard to digest on Audible, but that's an easy one to digest for sure.
Nice, absolutely. Yeah, to me, it really comes down to the narrator. If they've got a voice that I can't deal with, I'm like, I just can't listen to it. Awesome. So again, thank you for coming on the show. I've got a lot talking to you, and I'm sure everybody listening and watching did as well. You've given us a lot, so we always need to give in return. So if someone were to come and ask, or if you were to receive something from someone listening on this show, what would you want to receive?
Oh, you know what? I'd love to hear how anything I said has helped them. I mean, look, that's a far reach. Maybe someone doesn't reach out to me, but I'd love to know that just somebody who's able to take a nugget of what I said and just light a fire and get it done. Whether that's for them to stop doing everything themselves or find a good partner or listen to, read one of those books. I think it's just nice to know people are moving at the speed of what they're learning.
Perfect. I love it. And on that topic, if somebody did want to reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
I'm Chris at parkaveinvesting.com. That's Chris at parkaveinvesting.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. We have a partnering checklist, which I think is important for people to review. You can find that at partneringchecklist.com. I think that's just a great resource to look at different things you should ask a partner, and that's whether you're buying a 100-unit apartment or trying to find someone to babysit your kids. I mean, everyone's going to partner with you to help you get things done in your life, and I think it's a good list of things to do. So, yeah, social media and online would be great.
Awesome. So you heard it from him. That's Chris at parkaveinvesting.com. I will also put his LinkedIn account in the show notes. So if you want to click through there to reach out to Chris, go ahead. And for everybody listening and watching, thank you for coming along this journey with us today. We really appreciated having you here. Again, the best way to support the show is just to subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. And we look forward to having everybody on the next episode.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the ebook bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.